Hey guys, so I've actually got to apologize because earlier on I made some small errors in my timings, sort of like the video I was describing timings in, or the section rather of the video I was describing my timings and timing rules. And the thing is, these timings tend to change, like the regulations tend to change on like a weekly basis because of new testing and like just more people doing the platform. And yeah, but we've seen that a lot of users have had like really tight OCs that work really well. But yeah, apparently what I said was actually like revised. And yeah, basically it does turn out now that we can actually use ones on these timings. So apparently it is actually a dual rank thing. It seemed like that, but then it didn't, and I don't know. This value apparently 2 is completely fine. In fact, 1 would be ideal, but pretty much undoable. And 16 on this value is also pretty easy, apparently. Well, after I found off the testing. And yeah, apparently 16 should actually be CCTL times 2, so that should actually work, and that does work now. I lowered this to 4 as well, just to put it and, you know, make it look nicer. TWR's rule hasn't changed. It's just CAS plus WTRL plus burst chop, and that also tells you why you can't have lower than 48 CAS, or sorry, lower than 48 TWR on DDR5, and that is because CAS is completely capped at 24, WTRL is capped at 16, and burst chop is 8, and that's Intel, AMD, everything. There's no, you cannot run below CAS 24. It's not a thing. So, and you cannot run below WTRL 16, which is double the minimum CCTL value, I guess. So basically what that tells you is that, yo, like, that's TWR below 48 doesn't make sense. It just does not make sense. You could argue that Intel's IMC works differently. It might, but you have the same timing minimums on Intel as that the equation's made up of. So like, it's not really an argument, because like, if that's how TWR works, then I mean, it should be 48. It also kind of makes sense why on Intel you don't really see much improvement below 48. So I think 48 should be like the minimum, and honestly most people won't even get to 48 because of obvious reasons. If I do my math real quick for you guys, you'll see I'm at CAS 28 plus 16 plus 8, and that gives you like 52 right now. That cannot be, because it's in steps of 6, so you add 2 and then you go 54. So next step and then round up, and that's it. So pretty much. And yeah, otherwise these timings tightened up nicely, and honestly guys, like, if you compare these timings to the ones I showed like a few hours ago, the voltages identical, every single one identical, no change at all. ODTs, the on-node termination values, identical. Proc ODT, identical. Everything is exactly the same. The only changes I made were I followed the minimum, absolute minimum TRAS rule, which is like RCRD or RCDRD plus RTP, and that was 48, and then obviously you get a much lower TRC value, right? So whereas I had 120 before, now it's 84. So yeah, that works. And yeah, because like I said, the CCTL times 2 for WTRL, that worked fine. And then this at 4, I just made it 4 and it worked. It was fine. All these are 1. This to 2, down to 16 here. This to 16, and yeah, worked completely fine. Tested again for 25 cycles. It took 3.5 minutes less, guys. So between the two configs, if I show you, it's quite insane actually. Like, it's honestly, to me guys, this is indicative of the fact that there probably isn't anything wrong with these timings, because if you compare these two, like, let's do it this way, right? Much easier. So like, this is the old ones, these are the new ones. So as you can see, rule change there, much low TRAS, much low TRC, rule change here, and then this affected this one. So, and then that came down as well, all the way down to 2, and then all ones, and there you go. And look at it, 146 versus 150. insane. About a solid, I mean, yeah, it's 150.03. Yeah, it's quite a, yeah, I mean, it's solid, like what, 3.5 minutes basically. Almost exactly. Like, yeah, it's 1 second faster. Yeah, because 3.5 would be 150. No, I'm wrong. I'm being stupid. No, I'm right. 150.02. So yeah, it's 1 second faster than 3.5. So it's like 3 minutes and 31 seconds faster. So yeah, I mean it's solid. Like, it's really good. Like, I mean, you could argue that, yeah, you might be like, oh well, actually, you were right before, and this, you could argue semantics. You'd be like, oh, but there actually are rules and you're breaking the rule. Yeah, true. Maybe, I don't know. Like, it's a very strange platform because it seems like every single week, something new gets discovered, and like something new gets, put in place as like the new norm. And if you guys want to know why I actually had the motivation, or like the inspiration to go and rework these timings, and look at the rules again and see if I could tighten them up and like see what I could do, is actually because, guys, I tested IDA and I wasn't super happy. I really wasn't. I'm just gonna close these settings for you guys now because oh, look, the bug is back. Yay. Anyway, so I tested IDA, right, and you compare the 6400 profile with destabilized. Now, bear in mind, the IF does make a big difference, so the fabric speed change does make a difference as to latency. That's definitely a factor why. I mean, that, and obviously just IMC speed in general. So IMC clock plus fabric clock, both of them in tandem heavily affect that latency, obviously. Obviously, that's, basic. But just generally speaking, I wasn't super happy with this. Like, because look, this is losing significantly. I mean, it's losing properly. Like, this was the old OC, right? And this was getting absolutely whacked by my unfortunately, deceased 6400 profile, which is like doing really well. I mean, look at this, 57 nano. I mean, this is solid. I mean, I wasn't even trying to impress with the latency, and it just did really well. Obviously, you could say, oh, some would say 49, but I mean, 49, how do you get that? I don't know. I don't know, like, what would you need, like 6600, like C26? I've seen that before, by the way, but like, I don't know. I'm not keen, dude. I'm not keen in doing like 1.65 volts, and plus my CPU is not up to it. So yeah, that's that. But yeah, I'm gonna retest this now. When I stop recording, because obviously I want to restart Windows and get everything like cleaned up and fresh. And I don't do IDA when it's like this, or like, there's a bunch of programs and like, let's say I'm recording. I don't do it. There's no point. If you want to do IDA and actually have like data to compare, you have to literally close up as many apps as possible, no LAN cable, fresh off a boot, and you gotta make sure you test the latency like 10 to 15 times. That's not to like impress online. That's actually just to gather data. Like, there's no point comparing IDA. Like, let's say you compare IDA and one is like bogged down and the other one is like much more streamlined in terms of background processes. It's like, there's no point. Like, you're wasting your time. It's like, people come to me all the time, like, how do you get IDA down? Like, how do you get IDA down? I'm like, dude, like, you can't run fast IDA if you've got, like, shit everywhere. Like, there's no way. Like, IDA reacts to everything in the background. So, if you want to have, like, comparable data to actually, like, use to be like, oh, this is faster, it's like, if you want to compare your own stuff, then, you have to do it, like, properly. You have to do it, like, by the book. Some guys use, like, safe mode. Even better. But, like, I don't do safe mode, so whatever, it doesn't matter. But like, yeah, so doing IDA like with as much assistance as possible is not a bad thing. Like, make sure you have everything maxed out so that config of RAM really like shows what it can do. Otherwise, there's no point. Okay, so yeah. Otherwise, that's that, guys. Pretty much all I have to say. I've now had a cold boot retest basically. Because I mean, I stopped recording, had loading for 3 hours, came back, cold booted, tightened up timings. I even failed the train once. Like, I failed the train on CAS 26. And it trained after like a minute. Nah, honestly, CAS 26 might need like 1.55 volts, which is like, to me, that scaling is terrible, so I don't see a point. I mean, why add 125 millivolts just to gain 2 ticks of cast? There's no point. No reason for it. So yeah, I'm gonna head off, guys. Sorry about the mistakes again. Yeah, if you wonder where I get these rules from, Vey is really awesome. He does a lot of work with this stuff, and like, these are things like you'd need to test, like, I mean, like a crazy person. And I can't really, just timing, load shedding, desire. I'm it's not for me. But he has like this whole cool, like, you know, post here. As you can see, he's edited. So this does get edited quite often, right? And he comes back and, you know, fixes things and whatever. So that's where you find all you need. But yeah, otherwise my timings do work if you want to try them. As you can see, they actually do work compared to like a looser config, or like one that a config you would think follows more rules. Nah, this config beats it, like, hands down. And this is like absurdly tight. I mean, look at this. This is crazy. But yeah, so, oh, by the way, one last comment. This is also exemplary of like why I'm a fan of matching VDDQ, because on 4DIMM boards the signal is not too great, and on 4DIMM boards you should need around 1-to-1. 1-to-1 means, for the most part, like, you should be able to get tight timings. Like, you should be able to do tight timings. I mean, you can't run tight AF timings when you don't have enough of this voltage rail. Like, this rail is very important for, like, TRFC, all this bullshit, you know, this kind of stuff. Like, when you want to, like, max out the config at the given data rate and, like, at the given CAS, you need to have some, like, DQ supply. Otherwise, you're gonna, like, just error. Straight up. This rail is a bit weird. Honestly, it's exactly the same as the drive rail in Intel, like the same VD2 rail. It's the exact same thing. Only difference is it does create a second rail, which is like this one. So once this is to the die, like on the die, this rail gets like created, which is kind of weird. It this rail gets derived from this rail, but neither are, well, this would be internal. Yes, it is. So as with these ones, right? The reason why there's a CLDO nomenclature is because these rails, these CLDO rails, are on the chiplets and they come from MISC. MISC powers them. MISC powers the... No, it doesn't. This powers the iGPU and the, you know, IMC and the cache and whatever. This would power the IOD and the CCD. This is the IOD, which is where it gets really weird, because, I mean, if you think about it, like, yeah, it gets really weird if you think about it. Yeah, this, I mean, this powers, whatever, it doesn't matter, who cares? I don't care, it's all confusing. No one gives a shit. It's whatever. AMD system, cool. It works, great stuff. You can process loads, awesome, great. Who cares? Anyway, so otherwise, this rail is very weird. I have no idea, like, what the correlation. But by this point, I have no idea, because sometimes it likes 1-to-1. Sometimes you can floor it. Sometimes it's better high. Who knows? Honestly, who knows? It's just there. Just set it however you want. If it doesn't error, then good stuff. That's all I can say. Weird platform to tune on, but it works. And it's more consistent Intel. It's just that you can't go over like this data rate without trouble. After this data rate, it's like things break. It becomes weird. It's like the IMC. It does. The IMC changes its training behavior once you step above this data rate. Like, this data rate is safe. Once you're at 6400, it's like you're in like a no man's land. So that's pretty much how Ryzen is. But yeah, if you guys want to try my settings, you can. Feel free. I mean, this kit should do them. I mean, I know someone that has these, well, similar settings that can do this at like 1.4 volts. So anywhere between 1.38 and 1.425. I would just say between 1.4 and 1.425. This data rate and these timings should work. I'm not gonna guarantee it, but like they should work, hypothetically speaking. Obviously, you might want to look at the ODTs on your own board and, like, you know, mess with the VDP value and stuff like that. Try and keep SoC low. Again, I don't agree with the whole, like, oxide breakdown thing, but I would say there is no reason to go to 1.35. So like, if you don't have to do it, just don't do it, right? So yeah, I mean, no, that's about it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys some other time. Probably, funny enough, my next video might be more of like a showcase, because I'm getting something kind of cool. Well, I might be. I mean, you never know. God willing, but like, so I'll let you guys know what I get, or, you know, I'll show you guys. And that's about it, guys. I will check you hopefully in a few days' time.